So here we are. Well, I thought we were. Well, we are now. We're now live. This is Friday night 9 ball. We're a bit late. We've just come back from dinner. The tournament's underway. They're into the first matches. And we're looking at the bracket. We've got Marcellus playing Wink at Me. Larry has got a bye. Popman is playing Polka Bouter. Sir Henry is playing Dr. Ties or Dirties. And Hanging has a bye, and he's playing Tom Webbs, who also has a bye, because his opponent forfeited for some reason. And the first round match, Tony Sam is 5-1 up against Daily Hustle, and DJ Redo has a bye. So the match we're going to watch is Marcellus and Wink at Me. The winner of that one will play Larry. Just a little second to tidy something up. Right, we're good to go now. Friday night 9 ball is a handicap tournament, in case you don't know. Race to 7 on the winner's side. I think it's a race to 4 on the one loss side. And Wink at Me is 4-0 up. And that's going to be ball in hand to Wink at Me. Marcellus didn't get a rail. Now, if you've been watching any of the US Open matches, the rules are different. The rules are standard for Friday night 9 ball. It's winner breaks and jump cues are allowed. So it's looking like Marcellus has a lot of work to do if he's going to get back in the match. Just need to change something here. Hang on a second. Right, I was trying to edit something, but it won't let me now that I'm live, so we'll carry on. So another miss by Marcellus. He's trailing 5-0. And provided Winketme can get the pace right and get down onto this 6, he should be out. Well, even if he hadn't collided with the 8 ball, he would actually have been dead straight on this 6, but he's still got a cut. Wasn't the best of positional shots, and he's going to have to move the cue ball here to get on this 7, and he's just going to hook himself. So he's got himself out of line. No shot in the 7. So anybody who's a late comer, this isn't the US Open, even though the logo behind me says it is. It's not. Just a Friday night tournament. A great effort at getting a 7 there. How's his luck? Well, Marcellus can't get the pot angle into the middle, and he's going to have to pull out a great one here if he's going to rescue this rack. That's a good shot. Marcellus is going to have to drag into this 8 ball if he's going to try and hold it down at the bottom end of the table. He's got too much angle on the 8. Well, he's playing it dead weight. That was a good shot as well. So Marcellus is going to get himself off the mark. And that, what looked like a simple enough run out for Winketme went all wrong. Breaks dry. And there's a cut in the 1, but it's going to be difficult to get on that too. If the cue ball comes off the rail, well, he's collided with the 2. He'll take that. Now can he get out of that corner and avoid hitting the 7 and the 8? Well, he's brushed the 8, but he's okay. Have a quick look at the 5 ball, and that's out of line. So Winketme's all of a sudden lost his touch. Now the 5 ball is very tight past the 6, so I think there's a bit of work to get done there if it's going into the corner pocket. Well, that's a reasonable recovery, but he's got no shot in the 5 other than the safety. And that's gone wrong as well. So Marcellus has another chance here. I don't think he can pot that, can he? I don't think he can. And that's a weak one as well. So touch is certainly something that's lacking in the last few shots. And this is a chance for Winketme to pot the 5, but how does he get on the 6? Well, he's got a choice. He can stick Marcellus behind the 9, or he can go all out for the bank. And he slams the 6 in. But another good shot needed here. This is tough. That's a good shot. Good for weight as well. At least he's got a shot in the 9. A little bit offline, but he should get it. And there's that result come in. Tony Sam has beaten Daily Hustle 7-4. Well, another miss and another rack on the board for Marcellus. I wouldn't say that the tide is turning because we've yet to see Marcellus do anything. And he's certainly not going to do anything right now because he's come up dry again. And this is a good opportunity. Balls are perfect. That's going to scratch. No, just hanging in there. Looked as if it was tracking to the pocket. It'll be interesting to see how. Well, wink at me if he pots this 5 and the 6, how he gets onto the 7. Well, that's now made it more difficult hitting the 7. Now he's got an angle there to actually try and get in between the 8 ball and the 7 to play it down into this bottom right hand corner as we're looking. But the angle's there to do it. It needs to miss the 9 and it needs to spin. Well, he has a shot. And that just squeezed in. So it looks like Wink at Me is going to stop the little run, not so much a run, but stop the mistakes. And he's back to 6-2, needing one more. Marcellus coming to the table. And no real shot at all. Good safety required, but that isn't good. A little bit hampered by the 5, but if he gets this straight, he doesn't have to do anything. He just needs to roll through, and he's on the 3, and the 4 goes. But the 5, let's have a look at it. The 5 doesn't go, so when he pots the 4, if he has the angle, he'll be running into the 4. Well, he's gone too far the other way. Would have much preferred to have been playing that 4 from like here. That way he could nudge into the 5, but he can still go off the rail. Well, it's going to be a billiard. Clip the 5 and pop the 9 in. It looks fairly straightforward. Well, he's looking at the potting angle. Looks a lot easier to play the billiard onto the 9 than it does actually trying to pot the 5. Bit of right spin, clip the 9 and you push the clip the 5 and you push the 9 in. It looks odds on to me. Well, it did squeeze in. He's still got to back that up though. He's left himself short in the 6. Strange that he didn't go for the billiard from the 5 onto the 9 and sink the 9. It looked like he couldn't miss. Now he's got to get on the 7. Well, he's just about there. And the natural angle off that 7 is going to take the cue ball up that way. Well, he's got there, so Wink at Me is going to finish this match off. Just to pot the 8 and the 9. And Marcellus will move over to that 1 loss side and see if he can continue his participation in the tournament. So Wink at Me wins by 7 racks to 2. Right. So back to have a quick look at the bracket, and we see that Wink at Me is now going to play Larry, and that's the match we're going to look at next. Hanging is trailing 4-3 to Tom Webbs, and the Larry Wink at Me match, the room is up. Just waiting and the players going in. Wink at Me might be taking a little break for a minute or so before he goes in. Once the room's up, you've got 5 minutes to go in the room, or it will time out, and whichever player is in the room will be deemed the winner. If no players went into the room, the tournament system would automatically advance 1 player. So Larry's in the room. I'll have a quick drink if I can find my bottle. We'll join the room. Oh, just at the right time. Both players are in. Now, we haven't downloaded Wink at Me's playing queue there because he's playing with a house queue according to what we're looking at. And this match is also a scratch match. There's no handicap. There's 60 points between the 2 players. Larry won the lag. Larry breaks off. And like we've seen in the US Open, struggling to get balls in the break, these guys. ball's going to give Wink at Me cover. I don't know whether Larry can jump that at that distance over the 8 ball. And if this hits the rail, it's going to spin off the rail. Oh, he's played it well. Just got the right amount of swerve on it. Now, what's he left? A 2-9 combo? No. Possible bank. But Wink at Me was looking to get that tight to the 9. He fell short. Well, a little jump kick safe, if you want to call it that. Or is it? I think Wink at Me can see enough of that to pot it. I think he can. He used to watch the cue ball though. Well, clearly he could. But it hasn't gone. So here's Larry's chance. Just check the stream quality, it looks good. Larry's finished a little bit straight. Well, he might look to get the little window. He might look to play from there. It's hard to say, but the angle looks straight on that 3. Yeah, he's just stopping it. I think he can still see it, yep. Could possibly play the 9 into the right middle if the cue ball comes down and out. Well, he's played the draw. He's left himself square. This is not easy. Was always going to be a problem, but I thought the line that I had put up looked a lot easier, just to run through and come off the rail and leave the ball into the middle pocket on the right hand side. And Dirties has beaten Sir Henry 7-3. Wink at Me's potted a 5 and he just rolled down nicely for the 6. Good weight. And he played that all wrong, because he certainly didn't want to finish there. He didn't get any running in it, he actually just stunned it with a bit of right hand English. He's left himself high and dry here on the 9. But he's got it, and first rack goes to Wink at Me, and he'll have the break. Oh, 4 balls gone in, 7 balls hanging, 8 balls more or less hanging, and it's going to have to be a 1-8 combo. I think it's pretty straight, so this should be easy. Just got to hope that 1 ball doesn't go anywhere other than, well, he's got lucky. That is extremely lucky. He's got a shot in the 1, because he got the 1 ball running, which is what you don't want to do when you're playing those type of shots. But that's the little breaks that you need. And he's now well out of line. He's got no shot. That's really, really difficult to try and pick the angle on that too, to pot it when you're so close. Well, Larry's not been left anything easy. He's going to have to dig into this to avoid scratching. Well, didn't need to. The angle must have been better than it looked. You need another good one. This is awkward. And he's got to control the pace so he can leave himself reasonable distance on the 5. He can do that though, because this isn't, he doesn't need to slam this in, he just needs to get the pace to get it in the pocket. The cue ball will do the rest. And Larry's, he's got there, but he's overhit it. Just a wee bit more juice in it than he really wanted, but he was making sure that he didn't block himself out in the 9. That would have been the dumb shot to do, actually block himself off, so he made sure he didn't do it. And another result came in, and that one wiped its feet. Pool Kabouter has beaten Potman, sorry, 7-5. Oh dear. Well, Larry had draw and bottom right English on that ball, so that when the cue ball went to the rail it would punch it up towards the 9. The problem with that shot is that you're squirting the cue ball offline to the object ball, which in turn put the object ball offline to the jaw, and it hung up. So Wink at Me can go for the cut. He can go for the bank. This for 2-0. And then it goes. So Larry missed a bad one there in the 6, and he's now 2-0 down. Oh, a couple of balls have gone. The 4 and the 5 have gone, but look where the 2 is, stuck up next to the 9. So Wink at Me, he can try something elaborate here, but probably much better to just play the safe off the 2. Yeah, he's getting over ambitious there. And what's worse is he's given Larry ball in hand. There's another result. Tony Sam playing DJ Redo. Now, DJ Redo must have been getting a hefty handicap in that match. He's won 7-1. Well, I don't know what Larry tried there. He didn't hit it with enough pace to move much, so all he's going to do is thin the 2 to the 9 and try and hide the cue ball down this bottom end of the table. Well, Larry should be in trouble here if Wink at Me can get this thin and a bit of right spin on it and spin off the top end rail onto the side rail like that, there and down here. Well, I never seen a 2-9 combo. I should have went up to the end of the table and looked. Well, that was unlucky. I don't know what, honestly don't know what Larry was trying to do there, but whatever it was, he never got the hit that he wanted, or he never got enough power that he wanted, but it doesn't matter. Winketme's 3-0 up. Right, let's have a quick look at this bracket while they're starting this rack to see what handicap. Well, Tony Sam was only giving away the 7 ball, so DJ Redo must have been potting them. I thought it was a heftier handicap than that. So Tony Sam's got work to do on the one-loss side. And he's now going to play Marcellus. And it's it definitely is a race to 4 on the one-loss side. So Larry's at the table. And I think he's fairly straight on this 4. He's going to have to get a bit of power in this to get that cue ball down for the 5. And that's easier said than done, because we've seen them rattle already with power. Oh, he's going to scratch, is he? That's a disaster. Well, things ain't going Larry's way. And in a minute or two's time, he should be 4-0 down. And Winketme doesn't want to leave himself straight on this 6. He wants some sort of angle, one way or the other. And what's he done? He's left himself dead straight. And now it's an awkward 7 ball. Good evening, Simon. Never noticed you there. Did I put the timestamps on? No, I didn't. Just give me a second and I'll put the timestamps on so I can see when somebody says something. Hang on. Just be 2 seconds. Right. That's that done. So, Winketme is tidying up here in rack number 4, and it's 4-0. So, well, I've always said that Larry's never more dangerous when he gets behind, but he's running out of racks already, trailing by 4-0. Winketme's broken off, and the 6 and 7 have gone. He has a shot in the 1. Of course, with winner breaks, the difference now is that in theory, Larry maybe never get another shot in the match. That is unlikely to happen, because we've seen how these balls break. They either break and 2 go in, or you break for 10 breaks and no balls go in. Oh, there we go. Winketme's found a way to get himself in trouble. Didn't want to clip the 8 ball, and he's hooked himself. So this might be Larry's lifeline here, if Winketme can't get out of this and get it safe. And he's taking our time to line it up. Well, a good effort, and they'll be reasonably happy with the end result, although the 4 does go. Oh dear, well, Larry can't do anything right the last 2 or 3 shots he's played. He went for the bank instead of the cut. The cue ball could have ran round the table for the 6. But he scratched. So this is an unexpected gift here for Wink at Me to go 5-0. Nothing down this time. And straight away Larry's got a shot in the 1. Again, it's not an easy shot because it's into a pocket you're not looking at. You just got to trust the instinct that you've picked a potting angle. And it's worked its way into the pocket. Just kill the cue ball. He could actually run through off the end rail and come back up, but probably easier to stop the cue ball. Now, what angle's he got? Well, he's got enough to get down for the 4. That 9 ball and 6 ball are sitting in a position that just it plays with your mind because you know you want to play the 5 from the right hand side. So Larry's going to have to play a good positional shot here, and brush past the 6, and he's gone to that point beyond the 5. It still cuts, but it's thin and the cue ball's running. And he's overcut it, and he's fluked to 6. Well, there's a bit of luck for Larry. Oh dear, well, he needs to back it up. He needs to get out. He has to get out, put it that way. I think that's dead straight. Oh, that is. And that is not a good shot to be playing here. He's going to probably have to leave the 8 at distance. Yep. Couldn't do anything else with it. Oh dear, I'm getting tired again. Well, this time he's got it right. Sitting pretty good in the 9. So this to get off the mark. So Larry's on the board. And now he's got the break. Oh dear, and what's more, what's the worst possible outcome you can have when you get your first rack in the board? You scratch, yep, so you give your opponent ball in hand. What's even worse, you leave the 9 ball hanging over the bottom of the top right hand corner pocket, and all Wink at Me needs to do is just go on the 2 and run it onto the 9 for 6-1. I think it'd be safe to say that not much is going right for Larry in this match. Oh dear, well, Let's have a look at that 9. Well, it wasn't exactly hanging over the pocket. It was just on the knuckle there. And Wink at Me was trying to make the cut angle to knock the 9 in. So Larry lives again. Looked dead and buried there. And that's not good. Well, Larry's just having to dig himself out of hole after hole. That wasn't easy. He's got no shot in the 4 other than the bank. And it has to go. That 5 goes in no problem past the 6. And the angle he's got in the 4 I don't think is good though. Good for a bank, but not great. He's managed to hold it. And that almost froze against the 6. And this is now, well, it's getting tougher and tougher. Larry's doing his best to find hot spots. And that'll do it. That's almost there. Just roll the 7 in. Double check how the 9's sitting in the pocket there before you play a shot. And DJ Redo's won his match by forfeit. Tom Webb seems to have a habit of doing that. He probably just disappeared out the lobby. Right, so Larry's got a second rack in the board. Last time he broke and scratched. This time he's broke and the 2 ball has gone in. Well, the 1 either passes the 8 or he can nudge the 8 in. I think the 1 goes in off the 8 though. Let's have a look. Oh yeah, well, not quite as cut and dried. And Larry didn't like it, so he went for the bank. And he could pay the price if it wasn't for the fact the 4 ball's there and making this shot difficult. And that's way short of position for the 3. Needs to run up past that middle pocket in the left there. Now what's he doing? Is he going for the cut to the left corner? Yes, he is. And his cue ball running. Yeah, it's just got there. Needs another good pot in the 4. But just a dead weight pot because the cue ball is going to be on the 5 anyway. Let's double check this 8 ball. How does that look? Well, that's simple. It's hanging over the pocket, so no problems there. The problem's the 7 ball. And that's even more of a problem because he's finishing the rail and he can't get to all of the cue ball. So I think he's the angle he's got, he's probably best leaving the bank on the 7. Well, he's trying to get it over to play the 7 onto the 8. Oh, Larry's gone. That was a quick disconnect. And he's quickly back in, so This looks simple enough, just to nudge the 7 onto the 8. Well, decided to play the pot. Brave shot, considering the 8 ball was hanging over the pocket. So Wink at Me has now got to the point where he just needs one more. He's leading by 6 racks to 2. 5 ball goes into the top left. Something dropped in the right middle. That was the 4. Sorry, the 6. And from the position these balls are in, the only problem, one, if there's any problems, is 7. But Wink at Me should be home and dry. A little push through off the rail and back over below the middle pocket. And that will do it. Now, if he just kills the cue ball stone dead there. Oh, has he gone too far? I don't know why he didn't stop that, because he's now got the wrong angle. He's running up and down the table, and this is not guaranteed he's going to get good in the 9. He's leaving himself a distance cut for the match. I'll tell you what, if he misses this, he might live to regret that last shot. But in it goes clean, and Wink at Me has beaten Larry by 7 racks to 2. Well, Larry needs to go and have a lie down. Not that he's going to have much chance to lie down, but he certainly needs to recuperate and get ready for his one-loss side match. Right, so there's a few results have come in. Let's check the bracket, see where we stand. Wink at Me's now through to round 3, and he's waiting to play the winner between Pool Kabouter and Dirties. Tom Webbs, we saw, forfeited against DJ Redo. If we look at the one-loss side, Marcellus has beaten Tony Sam, because Tony Sam has forfeited that match, so he's headed home. And Daily Hustle is now going to play Larry, and that's the match we're going to watch, because until this match is over, there'll be no other matches. So this is a race to 4. And Larry's up against it here as well, because Daily Hustle, who's player 1, if you look at the HUD, player 1 is getting 7 and out, and Daily Hustle should be good enough to make the most of that handicap. So, and with it only being a race to 4, it could be a desperate situation very quickly for either player, but more likely for Larry if he makes any mistakes. And we're now at the point where we're down to, apart from the 6 ball, we're down to the money balls for Daily Hustle. And this is just an angle where Larry looks as if he's going to go behind the 9. It looks as if he's going to go that way and come out. And he's got the pace right. So it's Larry wins the first rack with the break, and rack number 2 in the race to 4. Well, it's dry, but it's safe. Well, it's a starter for Larry, but he's hampered by that 4, and he's looking at the 2. The 2 goes past the 4, can easily cheat the pocket down the rail. The problem now, though, is he's got to get across for that 3, and he doesn't want to hit the 6. He's avoided that. Now, what's Larry thinking? It would be simple to just come back up the table for the 6 into the left middle. The problem's the 7 ball. And he's managed to squeeze behind it. And he's going to have the angle in this 7 to get up for the 8 when he pots this 6. Cue ball should be sitting pretty good on the 7. Needed to get well away from the rail. He's got enough room, I think. And that's perfect. So Larry's going to bounce back from his first match defeat there in round 2, and he goes into a 2-0 lead. Well, we've lost the 5 and the 6, and Larry's finished awkward in the 1. He's just going to cut that down onto the rail and onto the 4. Well, he got it clean. Well, that's a bonus, because he's now set up the 2-9 combo, and it's going to be 3-0. That was quick. Oh, Larry scratched again in the break. Ball in hand for Daily Hustle, and he's looking, well, I'll tell you what, I don't like this for a combo because that 3's too close.
He's got to get this 100% accurate, and that's what always going to happen. And maybe he's blown his chance of a run out by not by playing the combo when it wasn't really that convenient to play a combo at that distance, especially with the 3 ball where it was sitting. And Daily Hustle might have played his last shot. Larry just nudging into the 3 to push it off the rail a wee bit, make it a wee bit more favourable to pot it. And I think he's got that done. And Potman on the 1 loss side has beaten Sir Henry 4-1. And Pool Kabouter has beaten Dirties Dr. Ties 7-2. Well, Larry can dig into this 7 ball, draw the cue ball up the table on the right hand side for the 8. Oh, I thought he was going to scratch again. But anyway, Larry is going to go through to the next round on the 1 loss side, and Daily Hustle is going to end his participation in tonight's tournament. And Larry wins the match by 4 racks to 0. So, brackets will have updated again. And Wink at Me is going to be playing Pool Kabouter. So that's the match we're going to watch now, because that's a hot seat match. Well, that's to see who gets the hot seat, I should say. And Pool Kabouter's getting the 7 ball as his extra money ball. He's already in the room. Now, what's happened to Wink at Me? He's suddenly disappeared. Oh no, there he is. Maybe I was scrolled up a bit there. So, Pool Kabouter is already in the room. Well, there's a new name, Mr. McCheese Biscuit. From England. And Wink at Me must be sitting there waiting on the little alarm alert to let you know the room's up. And he's joined the room. 2 players are lagging off. Remember, player 2, Pool Kabouter, is getting the 7 ball as his extra money ball. And he's won the lag. Oh, the 9 ball's tracking in, but that's going to get respotted. Well, there's the first bit of luck. Misses the 2 and hooks Wink at Me behind the 5. And he'll be digging out the jump stick to try and get over that 5 ball. Well, in goes the 2 off the 9. Bit of lag there. And no shot in the 3. Looking for cover. And the 3 cuts. Well, that's going to finish behind the 6 and the 9. And he's going to have to jump that as well. And this is the wrong time to go out of line. Well, he's just squeezed the 5 in. Because don't forget, Polka Bouter's got the 7 ball as his money ball. The 7 ball's an inch or so off the rail, so this should be easy enough. So Wink at Me gets off the mark. First rack on the board. And what went there? 7 ball. Well, not an easy starter, but it goes past the 5. Oh dear. Well, let's see what Polka Bouter does. Ball in hand. He only... Well, of course, the other thing that's happened in this rack is the 7 ball has gone down. So that means that Polka Bouter has to run the table. He has to get all of them to win the rack. And let's see if he's capable of doing it. Oh, I can't stop yawning, good God. Well, so far so good. But here's where it could go wrong. He'd be better off hitting this shot than trying to get right down onto the bottom rail. And that's what he's done. Because there's always a danger of blocking yourself out with that 8 ball, so he did the right shot there. Now he can just baby the 6 in. And just enough weight to get the cue ball out for the 8. Over to the left rail. Well, he's drawn directly back. Could just run through and come across. In fact, he's went for the bank. Didn't need to. So, back to 1-all. 7 ball. 7 ball in at the bottom right. Something went in somewhere else. What was that? No. It sounded like 2 balls going in there. I must be imagining things. Anyway, Pulkabouter's on the 1. This time the 7, oh, in fact the 7 went down, of course, and of course that being Pulkabouter's money ball on the break, it gets respotted because it's spot money is the rule that we're playing with. Now, had Winketme potted that 7 ball on the break, with it not being one of his money balls, of course, because he's given a handicap, the 7 ball would have stayed down. Oh, that's gone too far. You don't want shots like these. These are never easy. And that's why he's missed it. So from a good opportunity to go 2-1 in front, it's now looking like it might go the other way. Yeah, the 7 comes up, yeah. I'll have a smoke, see if that'll keep me awake, because I am out on my feet here, so I'm... That's a good safety. That's got Pulkabouter in a lot of trouble. A lot of trouble from the point of view that the balls are actually reasonably well placed, provided you get the right side of the 6 ball, but Pulkabouter's played a good kick. Not a bad end result. Could be a reverse bank here for Winketme, but you'll need a miracle shot to get on the 2 from that angle. And Winketme should be in trouble here. Oh dear. Well, it is. I thought he'd hit that far too hard, but the 1 ball saved him there by bouncing off the rail and coming back into the table, so it's now a problem for Winketme. And that's going to be ball in hand. Skimmed the top of the 2, trying to play the jump. Well, if you play this with top right English, the cue ball comes off the rail and goes that way, and he's done nothing. So he must fancy taking the 2-9 combo then, because it was much easier to get on the 2 from that side, and the left hand side, because it potted past the 6 into the top right hand corner, and now he's set up a 2-9 combo. Well, that for me was a wrong choice of shot. He should have played that with top right and get the cue ball over to where it is now, more or less. And that is how you pay the price there. From a chance to go 2-all, he's given away a chance for Wink At Me, and he's now sitting on the hill. But Wink At Me can't keep the cue ball out of the pocket. So if there's one criticism of Pole Kabouter from what I've seen, that would have been the choice of shot there. And now he's got a 1-9 combo he's going for. He's missed that, and he's got away with it. Now this needs a gentle little touch if you're just going to try and roll the 2 and get the cue ball onto the rail and try and use the 2 and 4 as blockers. He's gone the other side, and that's just as effective, using the 9. Capo's forfeited a match against Dirties. He moves on to the next round. Well, it looks very likely it's going to be the 2-4 combo. And he doesn't want to play this hard. The cue ball might come out and hit the 9, but he wants to keep the 2 ball very close to that pocket. Well, he's hit it firm, and that's why he's ended with no shot now. Oh, he's got away with that one. Nothing doing here for Pole Kabouter. Right, let's have a look at the bracket and see how things are going on the one-loss side. Well, Marcellus is through, waiting on the winner between Hanging and Popman. Hanging getting the 7 and 8 ball. 7 and out, basically. He's 2-1 up. And Tom Webb's, if he's still in the lobby, is waiting to play the winner of Capo and Larry, and Capo's getting 5 and out, and he's already up 1-0. And meanwhile, back at the match, Wink At Me on the 3. Distance shot in the 5. And it's just going to make it. Now he can actually just let this run. Just drop behind the 7.
So it looks like game over here. Wink at me just completing the formalities. Stop the cue ball stone dead. And a straight 9 ball into the top right hand corner. So Wink at me has won the match by 4 racks to 1. Oh wait a minute, I'm thinking it's a bloody loser's side. That shows you I'm falling asleep. I'm looking at the loser's side in the bracket. I'm thinking this is a loser's side match. This is always when I start making real bloomers. Oh dear. So he's not won the match, he's 4-1 up. This needs a bit of luck. That'll do it. You can certainly tuck the 3 down the rail. And if he doesn't hit it too hard, he'll have a shot in the 4. He might even just nudge it in off the 8, but he'd much rather get it clean. And he can draw back off the rail. Maybe need to punch this a wee bit. Well, cutting into the middle instead. He's still got to judge the weight though. No, he's going the other way. Well, I'm going to just let him play the shot rather than guessing what he's doing. He's looked at both options. And in the end, he got nothing right. Missed a 6. Didn't go through with the shot and blocked himself out in the 8. But he's not left anything easy here. And that's a good shot. Where's the cue ball? Now, can he cut that 8? Well, this is... I don't think it's cuttable from where he's aiming, but he's looking to kick it in instead. That's unlucky. And it's easy for Wink at me now. Just push through. The cue ball will come out. So 5-1. Well, Polkabouter's going to be in trouble here because that wasn't a very well thought out push shot. And now he's dead and buried behind the 3. Misses a kick. Ball in hand for Wink at me. Well, he wants to play the combo in the 3 first. I don't know why he can get the cue ball in behind the 1, but he's going the long road for a shortcut. Well, this rack's going to hinge on getting good on the 5 on that top rail. And he's okay. That's nice. A wee bit more than you would want, but you should be fine. So this for 6-1. Well, 3 balls have gone down, the 1, the 4 and the 8. And he's got a 2-5 combo. Not an easy one to judge this. So decided he didn't like it. He's tried to play the safe. So let's see if Pulka Bouter can hold his nerve, because he needs to get to the 7 to win the rack. Did his best to hold it for the 7. Now, and it goes. So it's 1 back, still trailing 6-2. Two ball goes in, bottom left, and just a push out again. Well, he should be pushing down to this bottom rail here somewhere. He shouldn't be going anywhere up the top end. Well, at least Wink at Me can't get to anything on the 1 to pot it, but he just set up a billiard. Those balls clustered over the corner pocket. Well, just as well the 8 balls blocking the 9. Oh dear. And that's gone wrong because he's hit that far too hard and nudged past the 9, but once again the 8 ball comes to the rescue. Well, the problem has been negotiated. Wink at Me, he could play a delicate one and try and roll on to the 9. A little force follow shot. What's he trying? The 1-9-5 combo. No, he managed to squeeze it onto the rail and kick it in. That was a good shot. Unlucky though. Well, that's tight. Just an easy enough kick though.
4 balls going to go in. Oh, unfortunate for Polka Bauta though. He's hooked behind the 7. Now, if he doesn't get this hit in the 1 and he doesn't get it safe, you have to say the match is over. So, ball in hand for Wink at Me. Well, he's got there. Just got there and no more. And cue ball. Nothing fancy, just go through and up for the 7. And he's got the perfect angle on the 7 to drop onto the 8. Well, Larry has just won his match against Capo by 4 racks to 1, so he marches on. And meanwhile, Wink at Me on the 9 for the match. And he wins the match 7 racks to 2, so the tournament's well on now. Let's see where we've got to. Well, we know that Wink at Me now is in the hot seat match to see who gets to tonight's final, and it would be safe to say that DJ Redo is going to be getting a fairly reasonable handicap against him. And meanwhile, on the loser's side, the one-loss side, Larry's now going to be playing Tom Webbs, and Tom Webbs is getting 5 and out. So I think what we'll do is we will nip in and see some of that match and keep an eye on what's happening with Wink at Me and DJ Redo, because it'll be interesting to see how Larry handles this 5 and out handicap. Now, is Tom Webb still here in the lobby? Because he, as I say, he has a tendency to disappear. And there's no sign of him in the lobby. He's got an awful habit of disappearing during double elimination tournaments. I've noticed that. Yeah, I don't see him there at all. So Larry might not have to play a shot in that match. All he needs to do is sit in the room there for 5 minutes and it'll time out. Well, in that case then, there's no point in sitting looking at that if Tom Webbs isn't in the lobby. Meanwhile, Popman has just beaten Hanging in a final rack decider, 4 racks to 3. And he'll now be playing... What the hell's happened there? Why is it showing Popman and Hanging? Oh, they must have been well behind her. Now Popman's going to be playing Marcellus. So, I think that's the match we'll watch. That should be interesting. Double check in the lobby. Yeah, it definitely looks like Tom Webbs isn't going to show. So I'm going to get my reserve bottle of water. I'll be back in a second and we'll watch the Popman Marcellus match.
Well, Marcellus or Potman aren't in the room. Both of them are looking like they're just waiting in the alarm to let them know the room's up before either of them go in it. And meanwhile, Larry's sitting there in the room, and his result will come through in the next minute or two. And Larry will win by forfeit. Well, one player's in the room. Potman's still to arrive. And we'll go in as soon as we see him going in. Right, we're lagging off. Remember, this is a one-loss side match. And player 2, Potman, is getting a 6 ball. Well, that was a terrible lag on the right-hand side, whoever that was. And to be honest with you, that's not much better. Well, they need to practice their lag shots, because the two of them shots were crap, for wanting a better description. But it's Potman to break. Potman getting the 6 ball. And he comes up dry. Let's just remind ourselves where Marcellus is from Brazil, and Potman from England. Well, it's going to be a long combo. It looks fairly simple enough. 7 balls close to the rail, so just roll the 1 just to make contact with the 7 at the rail, and he played it perfect. Pinpoint perfect. And now he's got a little angle on the 1. Now, ideally, he wants to get a bit of spin in this and get the cue ball over that way or up that way. One of the two. Danger here's a scratch in the first shot, so he's got to watch the amount of spin he puts on it. Well, he didn't get any on it, and that's why he's hit the 9. A nasty, thin little cut in this too. The cue ball's going to be running all over the place. But he's actually got an easy safety, and that's what he's went for. Has he got the cover? No, he hasn't. Cue ball more or less on the rail, and it's not good for a bank when it's like that. So Marcellus looking to use the 4 ball, and he's way short. And that was poor. Now, whenever shots like that happen, I keep going back to how you set your mouse up, because if your mouse was set up to any semblance of giving you good control, then you'd have been able to stick that cue ball on the 5 there, and Potman totally misjudged it. You have to be fully in control of the mouse speed when you're playing the little soft delicate shots, because if you don't have that control, you end up doing shots like Potman just did there. And now he's hooked. Easy jump though. But where's the 4 ball going to end up? And where's the cue ball going to go? Well, I'll be happy with that. There's nothing easy left. That's a good cut though by Marcellus. He's got to go up and down the table. He can't hold for the 6 surely. Need to play this really delicate if he's going to try and hold and leave some sort of potting angle in the 6. I think it's easier to get up and down the table. He needs to miss the 8 though. Well, you can tell that the 6 isn't on for a bank unless he goes up and down the table, so he's just playing the safety, and the 6 is off the rail, so Potman's going for the bank. Nope. Decided he doesn't fancy it. Well, of course it's only a race to 4. We're definitely on the 1 loss side, and he didn't want to take any risks. So now we'll get the tip tapping until somebody makes a mistake. That looks far too tight to squeeze by the 8. I think it goes though. Went for the cross bank, and now he's set it up for Potman. So Potman just needed the 6 ball, of course, to win the rack, and he's into the lead. So the tournament's been on for just over 2 hours. Oh dear. Well, this is a good chance for Potman. He's just going to have to probably push that 2 down into this bottom right hand corner and just stop the cue ball for the 3 into the middle. Well, he's going the other way. He's pushing the 2 past the 3 into the middle to leave himself on the 3.
And that was poor. Any time you get ball in hand and you're looking straight on a ball and you miss it, it's definitely poor. And he's got away with it. Marcellus, well, I don't know whether he can get a kicking angle off that rail, so he's just going to jump. A gentle little 2-5. And that's finished nice. Right. Quick look back at the bracket. And Polka Bouter is waiting on the winner of this match. Well, this isn't easy. He's going to have to cut that 4 across the 8 if he's going to play the combo. Because he was going to try and squeeze that 4 past the 8. It's very tight. He's got it. How's he locking the 4 though? No joy. Had to rely on a bit of luck to actually leave a shot in the 4. So you would think the safety would be the order of the day here. Cut the 4 back to the top rail and get the cue ball down the bottom of the table here. He's trying to use the 9. Just a wee bit strong. Or is he? No, he's got it. More or less got it. Certainly stopped Marcellus from potting it. He might be lining up the cross bank again. Yep, he's going all out for it. You have to push this cue ball here, punch it through. No, he doesn't. I keep forgetting he's on the 6 ball. That's his extra money ball. So it's 2-0 to Potman in the race to 4. How many times each week do I forget about the extra money balls? I think I do it at least once or twice when I'm falling asleep. Dry break. No shot. Easy kick. Well, I say an easy kick, but Marcellus fancies jumping over the 1 and the 4, the 9 and the 4, sorry, and played it well. But look where he's ended up. I can guarantee he's not going to jump over any of these to get to that 2. And didn't even measure up the kick there, just blasted at it.
So now that I remember, Potman just needs to get to the 6. He has to, if he could get to the top end of the table rather than leaving this a long 4, if he gets to the top half of the table and could take that 4 into the left middle, that would be the ideal position. It's not easy though, looking at where he is on this 3 though. If he goes forward, he's going to struggle to get out of that corner. He's played the draw and he's overcooked it. And he's scratched. This is still down to your mouse settings. It has to be. He's getting far too much juice into the shots. So this is Marcellus's opportunity to get off the mat. Well, Marcellus didn't hang about. He's got himself up and running. Had to though. 2-0 down. You don't want to go 3. That 8 ball's going to go in. And look where the 1's finished. Well, I don't know why he rolled through it. I mean, he probably was a bit straight, but is he going to blast this 2 onto the 9? Oh, he's played a thin cut. How's his luck? Well, it's not too bad. He's on the 3. Just on the 3. Let's double check it. Oh yeah, no problem. And that's going a bit too far. It needs to keep going now. Wanted to play that 5 into the middle. He's gone past it, but he's looking straight down the 5. Now he's double checking the cutting angle on that 9. Now he's either going to go through off the rail and play the 9 down the rail, or try and come down to the bottom end of the 9. Well, he's went to play it down the rail. I take it he can avoid the scratch. Yeah, he should be fine. So this for 2-all. Well, the 9's gone in, and the 9 will be respotted, but a couple of other balls have gone. And the 3 and 4 have gone down, and Marcellus has got a shot in the 1. And, well, If he can get on the 2, and he hasn't, this should be a good out for either player. Well, Potman can get to the edge of the 2. Is he want to risk cutting this down the rail? Well, each time Potman has had to play a control shot, he's got it badly wrong, and he's overhit that as well. So I would suggest that he goes away and he works on his mouse speed, because until you get that mouse speed right, you don't have the confidence to play those little delicate shots. Well, you might have the confidence, but you don't have the control, because he's getting them wrong, and if you're getting them wrong, then something has to be wrong in your setup. So Marcellus, he's going to have to do a good shot here though, but he's got a chance to get to the hill. And trying to play a delicate, controlled, soft draw to get on the 9. He's missed the 8, but look what he's left Potman. Absolutely nothing. Well, it looks as if it's on the rail. It may well not be. It's a few millimetres off it. Thin cut. And he's going to need a good 9 ball. He's well away from it. So it's Marcellus breaking off in rack number 6, needing 1 more. Well, the 2 and the 7 have gone. Potman somehow has finished on the 3. And Potman knows that he probably cannot make another mistake, or he's out. And if he hadn't hit that 5, he would have been back up the table and on the 4. And now he's left with no shot. Now let's see if he's trying to play the safety again here, trying to get the block. Push the 4 behind the 8 onto the end rail. And he's got it well this time. That's a much better shot. But because he hasn't got right on the 8, it's easy enough for Marcellus to kick the 4. Just straight over there. Onto the 4. And that might pot. Oh. Well, Potman breathes again. And can he see that 4? Yes, he can. So it looks easy enough. Pot the 5. Cue ball off there and up there, or somewhere like that, as long as he gets past the 8 to see the 6, because that's all he needs. And he's, well, the knuckles done him a favour there, but he should be okay. So we're going to a final rack decider. It's now 3 racks all, and Potman breaking open rack number 7. Now I've just had a brilliant idea to see if I can, I'll say that again, to see if I can get a solution to my falling asleep problem. And my solution is, once this match is finished, I'm going to go and take leave for a few minutes and go and get a cup of coffee organised, give myself a caffeine fix. Because for those of you who don't know, every Friday, when it's a working week, I've got an early start on a Saturday morning, up at 4 AM, and when I get to about 8:30 onwards each night, my body and brain goes on shutdown mode, and that's exactly where it is now. It's telling me I should be in bed, and I'm doing my best to stay awake. I presume the 1 goes. It might be right on that point, and it looks as if it goes. Well, clearly it must have been right on the point. And Potman's, well, I don't think there's any major damage done here, unless that 9 banks into the middle pocket. Or does the 1 cut past the 9? Yes, it does. I should have went up to that end of the table. And that's a nice little kiss. Push the cue ball onto the railing out. And he's got a perfect angle to draw into the 3. Past the 8. So this is the first real chance now to win the match. And DJ Redo has beaten Wink at Me 7 racks to 4. And that's going to bank the bottom if it doesn't hit the jaw. And Larry must have lost his connection because he's come back online. Meanwhile, Marcellus has got no shot in the 5. Let's have a look at that bracket. Where the hell are we? DJ Redo was getting the 6 ball. No, wait a minute. What result just come through there? DJ Redo and Wink at Me. He won 7-4, that's it. And he was getting the 6 ball. That's actually a good result for DJ Redo, that. So this match could go either way. I think it'll all hinge on this 5 ball. Whoever gets it. Because if Potman gets it, he only needs to sink the 6. for the bank. Nothing doing. And that could be Potman's last shot, because if Marcellus can get this thin, the cue ball has to be on the 6. If he gets the weight right, he has to at least have a shot on it. And if it nudges the 6 nicely, which it looks like, and Marcellus is going to let the cue ball run a little here, and if he gets it into the middle of the table anywhere, he's going to have a shot in the 8. So this match, barring an absolute catastrophe, is over. We'll have a quick look at the bracket again just to remind us where we are in the tournament, and then I'll nip away for a few minutes and get a caffeine injection. So Marcellus wins 4 racks to 3. Potman, well, there's always a next time. So let's see where it's got to now. We know that DJ Redo is in tonight's final, and the runner-up in the final is guaranteed $375, and the winner gets 750. So on the one loss side, because that's where all the action's happening now, we've got Marcellus about to play Potman. Larry had the bye against Tom Webbs because Tom Webbs disappeared. We've got Polkabouter going to play Marcellus once this bracket updates. It seems to be taking an age, and we'll nip in and get the match underway, presuming all players are there. Let's have a double check in the lobby. Oh, Marcellus. Don't tell me Polkabouter's disappeared as well. Yep, there's no sign of him either. Unless he's doing a restart. I don't see him. So Marcellus just needs to sit in the room and wait till it times out. Right, let's double check here. Yeah, there's no any other matches taking place because this match is the only one that's available. DJ Redo won't be playing until the one loss side is over. But that's what happens in tournaments. People will stay as long as they can, and then if the tournament's running on longer than they think, then they just have to quit and forfeit. Right. Right, we'll be back in a few minutes while I go and get a coffee. Right, we're back. So, let's have a quick look. Marcellus is still in that room. The room's gone. The results just came through. So, as I thought, Polkabouter has done a runner. Marcellus has been advanced through to the next round on the one-loss side, and he's now going to be playing Larry in a race to 4 to see who meets Wink at Me in the one-loss side final. So everything's almost good to go. I've got my cup of coffee, and you're going to hear me slurping my coffee because I'm not going to mute my mic because it clicks on the audio on the stream like this. If I can get it to what that is. It makes a clicking noise and it's annoying. So it's either the clicking noise or it's me slurping my coffee. But more importantly, I think I'm going to stay awake. Right, so the room is up. And Marcellus is in the room. Larry's sitting there. He might have fallen asleep himself. No, he's just joined the room. So we will now join it. They'll be lagging off. A reminder, DJ Redo is in tonight's final. Wink at Me is in the one-loss side final. And the winner of this match is going to play him to see who plays DJ Redo. So Marcellus has won the lag. He's breaking off, and a ball flew into the top right. I don't know what ball it was. It was, what, the 8 ball? No, it couldn't be the 8 ball, it was the 7 ball. And that 8 isn't a combo. The 1 ball just got to the rail. Oh, that's lovely. And the other thing I forgot to mention is there's no handicap. We're just playing to scratch. Marcellus overcut the 1. And Larry can see it no problem. Well, the one thing that's more important here for Marcellus is that Marcellus is likely to get a lot less opportunities to do anything in these racks, so when he does get a chance he has to make the most of it, and he hasn't already, and Larry's got a chance to run out. Caffeine and nicotine's bound to work. That'll keep my eyes open. Now Larry needs to miss this 8 ball, and he's avoided that. Came in between the 8 and the 6. Good shot. Oh dear. Well, That's 2 mistakes, 1 from each player. And Larry has left the 5 on. And that wasn't the best of shots by Marcellus. He's put himself right on the rack here. This isn't an easy 6 ball. Well, he's played that very well indeed. That was an excellent shot. So he's recovered well. The 1 ball's gone in. So Marcellus is on the board, winning the first rack. He has a fiddly little cut into the left middle. Should be on the 3 though. Oh dear. Well, did he play the bank? I don't know whether he did or he didn't. Well, 5 doesn't go. So he's got to look and push this 5. If he can get the cue ball up there, he can certainly leave Larry hooked. Now Marcellus could just go thin off the 5 that way and come back up with a 7. And he's played it the other way, he's still got it. And the 9 is stopping the kick, I think. Or is it? It'll certainly be easier to get it from this side. He might be looking to kick this in though. Probably have to hit the cushion first. I don't think he can go to it direct. And that was a good shot. Well played. And sitting nice on a 6. You can certainly draw up the table to get on the 7. There's no problem, there's plenty of room. But Larry's way short. I mean, that should have been another foot up the table. He's just leaving himself more work to do. Now, the last time I saw Larry playing in a tournament match was the US Open, and he had his touch pretty good that game that he played. Through to the next round. And he's needing another little fiddly 1 in the 8. Where's the cue ball going? He's okay. So Larry, a quick response, and the match is all square. Well, you can see the 2 goes, but only goes from one side. And the angle's there to get on the 2. If he misses a 7, and he doesn't block himself with a 5, uh-oh. Well, the kick worked. He got the kick, but he didn't get it safe. Good evening. Who's that? I've seen that name before. When was that typed? 9:40. 3 minutes ago. Is that somebody under a different name that I know from VP4? Well, this is tough for Larry. It's tight in the rail. And these are always very difficult to get right. You've just got to hit them sweet on that point to get it to hug the rail. If you get it marginally wrong, it's going to come away. And Larry didn't want to risk it, was looking to get cover. But the 4 does pass the 8. Now, if Larry hadn't collided with the 5, that would have been a pretty good safety. He would have been on that end rail at the top there. And once again, Marcellus has played the delicate little shot. Now, has he got the angle to draw right into that cue? But he certainly has. He can get on the 6. Needs to dig right down to hold it. Needs to bounce as well. I think he's okay. Or is he? Well, I don't think he can get the potting angle. He's going for the jump. He's played that well. This time he needs another good one. So both players are getting out of alignment here and having to pull out good shots to keep their run going. This will be a good one. Oh, it's Potman. Yeah, you see, the problem is I had my chinky about, when did I have it? After 7 o'clock, and then about an hour after I've had my chinky, that's when it kicks in. Combine that with the fact that I'm tired and should be in my bed. Every time I've had a big meal, I usually fall asleep anyway. I usually doze for 25 minutes in the chair. It doesn't help when you're actually planning to do a stream in a tournament. That's why I had to go and take a break and get a coffee to try and keep myself awake. I'm actually not bad now. Now you see, if I put the timestamps on in the chat, at least I can see when somebody's typed some, but I keep forgetting to look. What did I have tonight? I had char siu egg foo young and a portion of curry sauce over the top of it. It was lovely. With fried rice, of course. Never get boiled rice out of Chinese. I think the first time I got a Chinese, the first thing I got 40 odd years ago was spare ribs. And then when I got my first Chinese meal, I can't remember what it was, but I know that I had fried rice with it, and that was the one and only time I have ever had boiled rice in a Chinese. At least, when would that be? That must be about 19... Yeah, it has to be about 1977 when the Chinese opened up my way, and when I got the boiled rice, it just tasted so bland. I thought, well, I'm never getting that again. and I never have done. I've never ever had boiled rice in 40 years. Any time I've had a Chinese, it's always fried rice. So that's my tip of the day. Never get boiled rice in a Chinese. Right, so it's 2-1 to Marcellus. He's played a little draw and a kick on the 8, and he's opened up the 4. And it looks like Larry could be on the rack here. If Marcellus can get himself on this 6, nice. Well, a little stopper here will leave him perfect on the 8. Well, he's decided he's going to run through. That wasn't the shot I would have played. No. This is making it a wee bit more complicated. I would have actually just done a little stopper. He's done it okay. Now, how's the 9 on that rail? The 9's away from the rail. So it should be 3-1 to Marcellus. And Larry's at the point of no return, hanging on by his bootlaces here. And Marcellus breaking off in rack number 5. It looks as if it's going to be dry. The 7 and the 8 are now tied up, so it's not a good table to run. Oh no, he's potted a 2. I never noticed the 2 going in. Well, anyway, Marcellus is going to have to do something about the 7 and 8. Now that 4 ball and the angle that he's now got in the 4 means he can do 2 things. If he can cut the 4 and pot it, fine. If he plays it at the right pace, he can just nudge into the 7 and 8 and still have a shot in that 5. He doesn't want to thump this, he just wants to pot it and let the cue ball just run. And he's done it absolutely perfect. That was well played. And now he can come off the bottom rail and over to the left side rail for the 6. And he's got a nice little angle. Now he needs to edge on err on safety here and not try and get too delicate, because he wants to get out into the table. Is he punching out past the 8 on the top side and leaving the 7 long? Yes, he is. It needs to get there. And he's okay. And the angle's there again to come off the rail and out into the table. And he doesn't want to leave it short. He wants to get here at worst. So he's on the 8 rather than here. So he's got to go through with the cue ball. How does that look? Well, lots of top, a little bit of right, and lots of power. But he's going for the draw. I never like doing this shot. I'd rather let the cue ball run, because at least you know it's coming down to this end of the table. And he's leaving himself the high cut. So this for the match. The 9 is off the rail by 1.5 inches, so should be easy. And the game is over. Marcellus beats Larry by 4 racks to 1. And Marcellus is now going to play Wink at Me to see who gets into tonight's final to play DJ Redo. Right. Now I've got a good idea. Hang on a minute. Let's have a look at the US 9 ball. or the US Open I should say, have a quick look at that bracket and see what there is in the schedule. We've got Shibo and Mr. Bill lined up for a round 3 match, but they've got plenty of time to arrange their match, so there's nothing in the schedule for that. If we move down, we can see that Keki's Use and Allergies, they've arranged their match for the 3rd, which would be, what the hell day is this? This is the 1st, isn't it? So that'll be the Monday at 11 AM UK time. Well, unfortunately, I won't be here to see that. I'll be at work. And there's another match that's been arranged. Z Karaoke from, where the hell is he from? Brazil. And Senate from Scotland. And they're going to play in December the 6th, so that's a while away. But that's going to be at 7 PM my time. So that gives me plenty of time to talk tactics with Senate. Make sure that a Scot gets through. And another match is on December, is that the 5th or the 6th? I think it's the 5th, and that's Wink at Me and Biggs. And that's going to be 7 PM UK time as well. So those are the matches that have been arranged. Now I would think after tonight, what have we got now? It was 8 days for the first round. I can't remember what it was for the next round. I'll need to have a read at the rules again. Anyway, that's the US Open. And we'll go back to Friday night 9-ball. Oh, wrong one. Where the hell is it? Is that the one I'm on? Or am I just back to the US? No, this is Friday night 9-ball. I was already on the page. Right, so that match is underway. Let's join it. 0-0. Marcellus with ball in hand. What day is this? Friday? Friday the 1st, Saturday the 2nd. Yeah, my brain's all mush at the moment. Oh, lovely. So, no handicap in this match either. 2 evenly matched players. That one just squeezes past the 6. It's tight. Right, that's taking care of that. Well, we're 5 minutes short of 3 hours. I think we'll make this the last one of the night. Well, I'm surprised he didn't take that into the corner. I can't understand that at all. Why did he not take that down past the 8 ball into this pocket and leave himself like that in the 7? That's crazy. Well, he got it, but he left himself a lot more to do than he really needed to there. So 1-0. All races to 4 in the one loss side. So that bracket that we showed on the US Open, the match to keep an eye on. If you check the bracket each time if you're actually in Virtual Pool 4, anybody that's watching, if you check the bracket, because it's in the banners when you come into the lobby, keep checking it to see when Mal255 arranges his match with Yamaguchi Taru, because that is the current champion, Mal from England, against Yamaguchi Taru from Japan. The fact that the tournament's got no jump queues in it will help Yama from the point of view that Mal can't use that as his weapon because he uses a jump queue very well. I think it could be a reasonably close match. The only thing I would say though is that Yama doesn't have any playing queue and he doesn't have any break queue, and where Yama's going to be found out is on the break. But it is alternate break, which also adds to the mix. So it could be a very close match because both players, when they get in, the tendency is they're going to run the rack. And I hope they arrange it at a time that I can get it streamed. Well, the 2's on. And the 3 is very awkward. Now, can he make that potting angle in the 3, or is he going to have to bank it? I can't be bothered looking round to have a look at it again. We'll just see what happens. Well, I think he thought he could actually get it, and if he'd actually hit it harder, it would have got there. So, that's one that's got away for wink at me, and Marcellus will be looking to take full advantage of that one. Now, if you notice, I'm looking at the chat to see if anybody's typing anything, and nobody's typing anything, so... Oh dear, well... Oh, I thought he'd scratched. Well, he's got a slight angle, but he has to get some pace into this to get out and up the table for the 6 into the left middle. And he's done that well. Maybe too well, because you're now the wrong angle in the 6, so the cue ball's running up and down again. I'm saying running up and down, I'm better off looking here to see, is he trying to draw back? No, he's leaving the high cut. And that's what happens. Got to play to get better position in that than leaving yourself these awkward shots, but he's got second prize again, and that's very difficult to hit. You can't squeeze round the right hand side of the 9. It's too tight, and to try and play a swear from that angle, that is an excellent shot, and that's unlucky. At that distance, to judge the spin to get around that 9 and into the jaw to actually pot the 7, that's like a probably lucky you get that 2 out of 10 attempts. So now he's got to get the 8. And in it goes. No problem with the 9, and we're going to be tied up 1-1. We deserved that though from that shot in the 7. That was an excellent shot. But it's dry again, and look at the balls. Even I would fancy running this rack. This is the old join the dots technique again. Don't do anything stupid, you've got to be on the next ball. Nice, fine. See, that is still a little bit awkward, because you're then thinking about where that 6 is, and if you're actually thinking about position, you've got to get that control in the cue ball, but cutting across the 5 makes the shot more difficult. And he's got the pace right. Now, does the 6 pass the 7? Yes, it does. Straight 9, easy enough. So 2-1. Three ball goes into the top right, 8 ball goes into the bottom right, 5 ball goes into the bottom left, but it was just beaten to it by the cue ball. So immediately Wink at Me, with ball in hand, has got to respond. And that's nice. Drop in on the 4. Make sure you drop on the shorter side of the 4 if you can. Well, I don't know why he didn't stun across. It was just as simple to do. When you start making the cue ball travel longer distances than you really need to, you're always leaving yourself open to problems. Well, there's my point been proved. If he'd left it lower on the 4, see if he'd left that, let me get my donut, if he'd left the cue ball there on the 4 was there, he could just drop down for the 6. Now he's got himself up shit creek. That's a fine example of making things complicated by letting the cue ball run around, and then you've not got yourself ideal and you've made a balls up in the jump shot. So he deserves the punishment there for that shot, I'll tell you. I mean, I keep saying it, you keep things simple. And the way to keep things simple is by keeping the cue ball close if you can, and playing the simple shot to make it easier to go on to the next ball. That just became complicated when the cue ball run up the table, left himself not a great position in the 6, fairly straightish, not the 6, and left himself hooked in the 6 because of it. And as it is, it means Marcellus is going to be knocking on the door at 3-1 up, needing just one more. Oh, this time Marcellus is scratched again. And it's deja vu. Wink at me, ball in hand. Let's have a look at that 3-7 combo. Let's see where that's set to. Well, that's easily made. But the actual 7 is going to the jaw. It's not going directly into the pocket. You have to make it. It might go in off the jaw, it's hard to say, but that remains to be seen. We're about to find out, is he just going to play it plain, or is he going to cut the 3 onto the 7, because that's how you then make the pot. Yes, he has, he's cut across it from the right hand side of the 3, and there was never a guarantee about where the 3 ball's going to end up. He's still got a shot though. Well, anywhere over on the left hand side would be the better shot, because that means that you've got an angle to pot the 8 and come off the right hand rail and out for the 9. He's not going to do it again, is he? Good God. Oh, he's dicing with death here. So it's a reasonably straight 9 to save one of his lives. So this for 3-2. And he has the break in rack number 6. No joy. 2 looks as if it passes the 5, which it does. And plenty of room in the right hand side to get that cue ball up the table. It needed to be up here, not there. So he needed to actually put a bit of spin on it to get the cue ball to go that direction. Yeah. This is a good chance here for Wink at Me to square the match. If he gets on this 3 ball, 3 goes past the 4. I'm not sure it goes into the left middle past the 9 though. Well, now he's chancing his arm. Well, he's got there. Well, this is not ideal, but it's ideal for a good safety, which he's done, and he's blocked off the end rail for the easy kick. So Marcellus is going to have to certainly go 2 rails, maybe even 3, to kick in behind the 3 ball, and he's missed it. So now that Wink at Me has got the ball in hand, this is where he has to then back it up, and the 4 ball still sitting not convenient. They were a little nudging, the 9s worked out nice. The 9's lying off the rail, so that won't be a problem. As long as he's got a good sight on it if he gets that far. Well, here we go again. We know that the 7 doesn't pass the 8. Now, the shot here that you play, let's have a look. Hang on a minute to get round that side. You need to play this with left English. I think you get far too much on it. Well, it's definitely not going. So it's a bank, and he's only going to get one bite at it because the 9's blocking its path into this bottom corner pocket as we look. So it's got to go straight into the top left. And if he doesn't get it, you'd think it's match over. And in it goes. Held his nerve. Now, with this shot, he's got to get as close to the rail as he can, and that'll do. Watch that middle pocket jaw. Don't get it hugging the rail. It's actually went away from the rail, still went in. So here we go. Final rack decider. Wink at me breaking in rack number 7. A ball went into the top right, I think, which was a 3 ball. Now, what does he do? All out for the cut down the rail, or a little safety? No, he's went for it in the middle. That was a good shot. That was tight. Well, my coffee's kicked in and then worn off. I've started yawning again. Well, that's not going to get anywhere near it. Well, you've got to try and kick this full in the face to try and hold the cue ball behind the 7, or at least up the top end of the table, and he's played it well. But there is a little teaser there for Marcellus. And now we've seen him play a couple of long distance cuts at a dead weight pace, and they've went in so far. He's played them well. He needs to do another one. And he's got it again. That cue ball needs to bounce though. And this is one of these ones. And it's one of these ones that time and time again the player overcuts it to the jaw on the short rail at the top end. Not this time, no. But he's needing another good one. He's in no man's land here. This is ugly. Well, he's got to take it in the middle. And he's got to be on the 9, provided he doesn't cannon into the 9 and push it safe. Oh, he's well away from it. Where's the cue ball? No, he's fine. So this for the match. So Marcellus is through, winning by 4 racks to 3. Right, so how does that take shape? Well, it means that Marcellus is going to be playing DJ Redo, and DJ Redo will be getting a handicap in tonight's final, which I believe is a race to 9. What does it say? Single final 9. Well, I'm thinking DJ Redo might be getting, could be getting something as much as 7 and out. We'll soon find out, provided DJ Redo's still here. He's been, oh yeah, he's there. 2 players are already in the room. The lag's been played and won, and DJ Redo is going to break off in tonight's Friday night 9-ball final. And DJ Redo's getting a 7-ball, so well, he's over 2,000 rated, so well, as long as he takes his chances, a 7-ball's going to be good enough for him. So, tournament's been on for 3 hours 20 minutes. We had about, what, 10 people in it, I think. Roughly around about 10 or 11. Well, that's gone pear-shaped. Out with the jump stick. Oh, the yawns have kicked in again, good and proper. The eyes are going. Well, here we go. So, the mistake has been made. DJ Redo, ball in hand, and just needs up to the 7. Well, this has got to be really, really delicate, because that cue ball's going to go behind the 8. So, he's chancing his arm here. And now he's got himself out of line. He's going to be hitting the 7 as well when he pots this. If he pots the 5, and he doesn't know where the 7's going to end up. And it's in the middle of nowhere. So from that first shot that he had there with that little delicate 4-ball, he's now got nothing. And he's given it away to Marcellus. Wrong choice of shot there, folks. Shouldn't have run the cue ball. Should have just played the little soft one and leave the 5 into the left middle. So from having a ball in hand and a reasonably straightforward run out, it all ends up to nothing. And Marcellus has got a straight 9-ball to win the first rack. Two ball, 6-ball goes in, cue ball goes in as well. So here we are again, exactly the same as before, ball in hand. This time the balls are spread even better. Now the 4-ball's the problem because it doesn't have a pocket up at the top end there. At least not an easy pocket, because the 9's blocking the main one it's going to go into. So it could be a possible 4-9 combo, unless he can get over behind the 4. Let's look. Well, he can get onto the 4. He needs to draw into it, maybe for his sake hit the 8. And he's got that wrong. So
DJ Redo has had his couple of chances and he's managed to get himself into a mess with both of them. And Marcellus, DJ Redo, I'm mixing up who's at the table. Well, that looked not a too difficult combo. That's a nice little kiss. Should be straightforward enough to drop onto that 8. Well, I don't know. Maybe I should have looked at the actual potting angle he had there, but he's way off the 8 ball. Needs a good cut here. He's overdone it. And the further up the rail that 8 ball goes, the more difficult it is, and it's right on the rail, I think. Pretty much so. It's a little tad off the rail though. But look at the angle that DJ Reader's going to try and cut this. He needs to watch the scratch. Well, he's done that well. So, just a 9 ball to get back in level terms. Five balls gone. He's stuck right over the top of that 7. The 8 and 9 are tied up. So the safety is there. If he can get the thin edge off the 1, cue ball off there, cut the 1, well, the 1 would have been cut off the rail up towards the 8 and 9, and the cue ball down here. That would have been the safety. Well, the 8 and 9's now split, but he's hooked himself directly behind the 8 ball. It's going to have to be, well, he's going to kick direct between the 8 and 9. Just missed it. So this is a third chance in as many racks for DJ Redo with ball in hand to get to that 7 ball. And again, played entirely wrong. Drew it onto the left rail and has left himself in no man's land. A really tough cut in the 4. And this is how to give racks away, basically. If you can't keep following it up with good shots to keep the run going. And now the 6 ball's definitely out the game. He's not potting that. And Marcellus is going to have to leave a little fiddly one as well, because he can only go forward or back in this 6. It's pretty much straight. But the angle's a good one. Needed another footer running. Cut is on. The bank is on. Take your pick. And it's going to double bank. So 2-1 to Marcellus. Well, that's a good shot. Needs the same again to avoid the 6, the 4 and the 5, and got on that 3. Now, what about that 4 ball? It doesn't look like it passes the 5 into that corner. But then when you look at it on that side, there's plenty of room. There's plenty of room when you're looking straight at it, but when you're playing the cut, well, that's a bit of luck. Clip to 6 in. No shot in the 4, but a reverse bank if he wants to risk it. He's gone for it. He's missed it. He's nudged the 8 out and made it easier. And the 4's gone safe. That's a good one, I think. Or has he got... Oh no, you can see it. 4's safe now. Well, I say safe, but you got to pick out a good one to tuck that down the rail. That's a good shot. Needs to slow up or keep going, one of the two. And again, just cannot get ideal. Needs another good shot. But not prepared to risk it. Can you see enough of that? I think you need to jack up the cue and just spin onto that 5 to make the potting angle. I don't know whether it pots at that angle. Hard to say. Looks very close. And clearly not. Well, they don't come much easier than this. Pot the 5 and then pot the 7. So all square, 2 racks all. And the Friday night 9-ball final to 9. Marcellus is quite good at those delicate little shots from distance. I don't think he's missed any. He's missed that one though. Well, the angle's between the 6 and the 8 to come across for the 5. Oh, that's nasty. Very nasty. Oh dear. Well, back to the old routine again. Ball in hand, 5, 6, and then 7. So you've just got to go on that 6. You can cheat the pocket a wee bit and create the angle just to punch round. He's leaving it long distance again. But this for 3-2. Need to slow down there. Well, he's actually gone far enough the other side. If he hits it to the jaw, it could bounce in off the 7 anyway. Oh dear. Well, 3-2 at the moment to DJ Redo. Marcellus has made a hash of that. I don't know what he was trying to do, but it's ball in hand anyway. He's blaming the mouse. I think that's Portuguese or something that they're speaking. So 4-2 to DJ Redo. Now what went in that time? The 3 ball, 4 balls
tied up with a 6 and a 7 in the middle of the table. That's going to run a bit too far, I think. Well, he's got a thin edge of the 2, and in actual fact that might have worked out good. If he gets this 2, surely he's got to hit something here. Well, no, got it too thick, and he's left it on. Now Marcellus, if he stuns this in hard enough with the amp on, he can stun into the 6 and move something, and he needs to do something. Well, is he happy to play the combo? No, he's just looking to play it safe, and he's nudged that into the 9. Not a great shot. I don't think there should be any prizes for guessing what Marcellus is going to do here. Oh, it's unlucky. This could actually work out good if we can get past the 7 ball. Oh no. Another little safety, a little roll up to the 7. An easy kick though. You got to just get your fingers crossed for a bit of a lucky roll here, kicking this. Well, that's not working out. I think you can still cut that in, can you? Well, it's more than halfway across the pocket. And wasn't happy with it, so tried to play it safe, but he's way short this time.
That's a good one. And that's finished nice. So it's one back for Marcellus. Still trailing by one. That's a nice shot. Good weight. So the gap's been opened up. TJ Redo up 5-3. No luck again this time. And Marcellus might give this a bang. Played a little billiard. Still a shot in the one. The two's on as well. Now, what about the 8 and 9? Let's look at that. Well, that 8 does not go from this side. It goes from that side up the table. It's another one of those little delicate shots.
Well, I'm not convinced that goes past unless you're going to try and cheat it off the rail. No, it was never on. So DJ Redo comes to the table, 5-3 up. A not too easy 8 ball. Again, the choice is cut it or bank it. But Marcellus is going to cut the deficit. So we're into rack number 10. Marcellus breaking off. 5 balls gone in. He hasn't a shot in the one, but he'll have a good safety in a second. So the foul's been made. Straight away Marcellus has got ball in hand again, and he's lining up the 1-9 combo. In we go. So quick response, and we're back to all square. Well, somehow the 1 ball's ended up going in, the 3 balls went in as well, but that's not the shot I would have played, because the shot was thin edge onto the rail with the cue ball and down here for cover. But when you get flukes like that, as I've said before, when you get the breaks, you have to make the most of them straight away. DJ Redo has blown it. And his 5-3 lead has gone. And Marcellus at the table with a chance to go into the lead. Anybody who's still watching the stream, If you're interested, and in case you've forgotten, this year's Mosconi Cup, I think, is coming from Las Vegas. I think it's the Americans' turn to host it. And it's in the next few days, in 2 or 3 days' time, the Mosconi Cup will be underway, which is like the Ryder Cup in pool. It's 9 ball, and it's a team-based event, if you haven't seen it. And Europe have won it the last, well, goodness knows how many. But they're going to have to defend their title in Las Vegas this year. And if you hunt around, you'll certainly find a good stream for it. There's always usually a stream can be found. Well, shouldn't be a problem getting on the 4. He needs to watch the pace though. He's a bit strong. He's too strong. And he's hooked himself a great big area to get that cue ball into. And things are going a bit wrong here for DJ Redo. Now he's scratched, and it's another. Well, he's also helped Marcellus by sinking 8 as well. And from a reasonably good point in the match, being 5-3 up, he's about to find himself 7-5 down now. There should be a little draw. So it's Marcellus. Edges ever closer to that 9 racks that he needs. Just 2 away. And the tournament has been going for just short of 4 hours. About 3 minutes to 11 PM GMT. Well, here's the tester. Not an easy one, and not easy to get on the 2. That 4 ball could easily end up in the way. And he's missed the 1. And likewise for Marcellus, you can see enough of the 1, I think, to cut it and try and get across for the 2. And that's a good shot. He's going too far this time. Quite content to play the safety. Leave JG Redo to do all the work. Oh, the 9's gone in. Well, that's a bonus. So it's 7-6. All the flukes count. Well, that came at the right time. And this could be another quick one if he plays this 1-9 combo. He's got to go for it. That's a good one. So, all of a sudden, we're back to... What the hell happened here? Am I falling asleep? No, it's Marcellus now that's at the table. I'm definitely gone. Forget it, folks. The brain is well shut down. I thought that was DG Redo at the table. Well, there's definitely a lag in the room, and the lag is my brain. The coffee has worn off. So it's 8-6. I think the brain was hoping more that it was going to be all square to make it an interesting finale. I think that's what it was. Good cover. DJ Redo. He's probably better just trying to tie up another ball here, because if he starts smacking balls around, he's just going to open it up and make it easier for Marcellus. Well, a good effort. He just nudged the two. But Marcellus has the ball in hand. Let's see what he can do. And I'm forgetting to mention, but Marcellus, of course, is on the hill. He just needs the one more rack to take home the dough. Well, he's well shot in the 3. He's going to need a delicate one. Played at a pace that doesn't let the cue ball run away. He'll have the 4 into the left middle. And didn't quite get it thin enough. Well, here's a problem as well. These are tough to judge the pace. And DJ Redo's way over the top with that shot. Just a kick now. And this shot here could be his last shot. But doesn't go safe. It's not. We're coming to the climax of the match and the tournament. Marcellus, just these last 4 balls. Well, a little drawback. A long 8 ball into the bottom left. And a little roll in the 9 for the match. So it's Marcellus who wins tonight's Friday night 9 ball. Tournament's just gone 4 hours and 4 minutes, and he wins the match by 9 racks to 6. We'll have one final look at the bracket. And we will see that, as I said earlier, DJ Redo as runner-up gets 375 virtual dollars, and the winner, Marcellus, gets 750. Well, folks, that's it for tonight. I'm going to bed. I've had enough. Half my body's shut down and ready for some sleep. So thanks for watching, and hopefully we will be back with some live US Open 9-ball. Whenever we can get a good match, we'll have it up and running. If you've subscribed to the channel, you'll get an alert on YouTube if you drop on it that I'm streaming, and by all means you're more than welcome to drop in, join the stream. And until then, I will bid you a good night, and I will see you again sometime.